Okay, well, here's a project and an engine I had no plans on getting, but, or no plans on doing, I guess I should say. But regardless, I was at the train store today. Shout out to Brady's Train Outlet in Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Anyway, I was out there today just to stop in, see what they had, whatever. And I came across this. This is a Lionel J3a Hudson Legacy. This came out in 2019, I think. It's the last time they did, last time and only time they've done a J3a in Legacy. And I was back there in December. It's the last time I was there prior to this visit that I did today in April. And I saw this there. I thought about it, but ultimately decided I didn't need it. I don't know what happened today, but I went back today and saw it and decided I did need it. And so it ended up coming home with me. And it was in perfect shape. It's I got it for a good deal. So John, the owner, John Brady, gave me a pretty good deal on it. So I'm thankful for that. And anyway, I took it home. Really like it. This is the 5418. So this is the one they did. It has the standard tender, which is sitting over there in the layout. Doesn't have the PT tender, but it does have the skull and disc drivers, which is like the coolest thing ever. Really like the look of those. So it came the way I wanted it to. It is more of an as-delivered J3a. It has the older style font for the numbers on the tender. It also has whatever feed water heater this is, not a Worthington. Is it a Worthington? I don't know. I'm not an expert in this stuff. But either way, it has the feed water heater that's kind of embedded in the smoke box here. So it's the as-delivered version. And so I bought it, and I don't want to spend a lot of time, making it, redoing the whole thing. I already have my hands full with this Mohawk, which is a work in progress here. So I didn't want to beat myself up and do too much work on this. It's already a pretty solid model as is, but I'm going to do a little bit of work. So the first thing I did was I painted out the rims and the drivers. So they match. There was like an unpainted bare, sort of like a darkened metal, but it looked terrible. So I painted them so it all matches. And then I did a little bit of work here in the front end. I don't like the headlight that it came with. It just doesn't look good. And God bless my the spare parts bin. Literally keeps just junk. In my spare parts bin, I had this nice little piece. This is a precision scale New York Central style headlights. That was pretty cool. Now I just had the headlight, didn't have a bracket for it. The bracket that comes with the stock headlight isn't bad. The only downside is that it's all molded in one piece. So the headlight is like real big. It almost goes back into the smoke box. It was just oversized, the wrong shape. It was like the whole thing was a cylinder. It didn't have that flat part that this one has. It just didn't look good. So I was able to salvage the old, the original bracket. I just ground off the old headlight and ground it smooth, filed it a bit, sanded it a bit. So now it sits pretty smooth here. And when I stick the headlight on here, oh shit, whoops, mind the PG-13 language there. Anyway, whenever I go to stick the headlight on, you can see it's not going to sit perfectly. There you go. When I go to sit it on, it looks pretty good. And this is the original little front plate here, 5418 New York Central, that sticks onto the bottom like that. So when that goes together, it looks pretty damn good if you ask me. I think it'll look great. This is a pretty easy thing to do. A little bit of grinding, a little bit of patience, and sanding it and stuff. It took me maybe half an hour, but it came out really good. And then you'll see behind there, I have a little tiny LED sticking out. I also replaced the stock LED. It was real big, real oversized. Didn't like how it looked. And I had this one here. This is actually it's for an HO scale model. It's a warm white LED. The old one was like a cool white, more like a bluish color. That's more like a white. I didn't like it. This is more of a correct color. And it's real tiny. So what I'm going to do is I cored out the back of this light here. I think I actually might fill in some of it. It's a little bit big. But I'll fill that in. I'll have the wires run flush up against the back of the headlight. So you really, ideally, you won't even tell there's wires back here. You'll just see the headlight light up, and you won't even see there's a wire back there. And I'll put a reflector in there, a little lens, and that'll be the front end. I also removed the horrible looking class lights here. Terrible class lights, they look awful. I plugged the holes. Now I plugged my holes actually with white glue, and it's white right now, and I only have like one layer in there, but I'll slowly build it up so it's pretty flush. When it dries whitish, clear, but that won't matter because I'm going to repaint the smoke box as it is. It's not a bad color. It's just kind of metallic looking. And if you've ever seen a picture of a Hudson on the New York Central, they're pretty much all black. So, obviously the boiler jacketing, all that's black. The smoke box and the firebox as well. I'm going to make them almost to match, maybe a slightly better than this, like a little bit more gray than this. but it's going to be pretty dark. So I'm going to repaint the smoke box, repaint the firebox. I may add, you know, touch up after I paint it. I'm going to probably paint all this cast in stuff so it stands out. I may also add a couple more details, you know, more piping and stuff, plumbing on both sides of the firebox. Anywhere I see down here, maybe some sanding lines that come down to the trucks, or to the wheels, I mean. You know, anything that after I base off prototype photos, anything I need to do up in the top as far as whistle cords, bell cords, whatever, I'll look at some prototype photos. I'll do all that, and then I'll give it a weathering job, and it'll be ready for service. And so, yeah, I think it looks really good. I think it's going to come along nice. And I'm going to compile this into one big video, so you'll see it when it's all done. I'm not going to do little installments. I'm going to try that and see if you'll like that better. Maybe if I like it better, too. And anyway, so I'll catch you here in the next update here, which will likely be after maybe I have the smoke box and firebox painted. So catch you next, or see you soon. Okay, so here it is, the new headlight installed. And it actually looks more warm and yellowish in person. Or, I'm sorry, in the camera that does in person. In person, it's a little bit more white than I would like, but whatever. The nice thing is that it has those nice thin wires, so you can see it's you don't have a gigantic wire coming out of this hole. So speaking of the holes here, I removed the class lights as well. You can see they're plugged up with white glue. They're getting there. I got to do some more layers to build it up. Touch up a little bit of paint as well over there in the headlight, but I think it looks good. This looks way better than the stock headlight, that's for sure. Let's have it up, just running in place right now on my high-tech setup. All I use old transformer, and with two wires, one going up to next to a pickup roller, the other one just any grounded spot on the engine. I usually connect it below the cab there, and it's running in place. So at this point, most of the biggest thing I wanted to do was that headlight replacement, and that's done. So I'm glad about, well, it's pretty much done. I'm going to add one more lens across the top there, or across the front. It's just kind of, I have a reflector in there with the bulb, but I still want to put a lens over top the whole front of it to kind of seal it off. But that was the big thing I wanted to do, as well as the class light removal. So I got to touch that up. But tomorrow, because it's late at night right now, tomorrow I'm going to do is focus on painting actually adding some more detail first off to the firebox. There's a couple more things I wanted to add. I was looking at the Koz, I think that's how you say it. Koz is a Japanese, if I'm pronouncing it right, they're a Japanese company that makes very detailed and very expensive brass models. And they made a two-rail model of an early J3a, just like this one. So I've been looking at some photos of that, reference photos of that. It has a lot of great detail on there. So I've been trying to get that for some reference photos. So tomorrow I'm going to add a little more detail where necessary around the cab, the firebox. I also want to take the cab off, and I want to paint the interior of the cab. I want to paint it green. And there are some hand-painted things in there. I think I could maybe add a few more details, add cab curtains on the back. So I want to do that here in the cab. And then after all the details added to the firebox, anywhere else in the engine, I'm going to paint the firebox and paint the smoke box black, or at least a very, very dark gray. So it's going to be kind of one blended color. And after that, it'll be some weathering. And we'll call this done. So I'll put some running shots in here of it on the layout as well. So anyway, that's where we're at so far. I think it's coming along good. The headlight, again, makes a huge difference. And we'll keep working at it. Here it is sitting up on the rollers yet again. Got some power attached to it, power on it. And the biggest difference you'll see here, I got the smoke box painted. It's made up of, here we go. It's made up of a mix of flat black and gloss black, apple barrel acrylic paints that I thinned and put into my airbrush. You see it kind of didn't mix all the way, but it did in the airbrush and it came out fine. It's majority flat with a little bit of gloss in there just to make it look less gray. Just want it to be a little bit more black. And I think it came out pretty good. And I also I hit the firebox. I didn't realize looking at it closer, the firebox is actually, most of it has lagging on the side, you can see. So I hit the lagging with the gloss black. And the finish is a little bit glossier than the boiler jacketing up above. But it's not a big deal because it'll be, whenever I go to weather it, or I'll hit it with dull coat and weather it, you won't even notice. But either way, I did hit the firebox as well. The very bottom line of rivets there, that's the actual firebox. So I just hand painted that with the same color I have up here in the smoke box. I also have the headlight all the way installed. I experimented making the lens out of, what is that? Tacky glue. And it's not terrible. I think I need to go back when I'm passing it to kind of smooth it out, but it looks okay. The holes on the smoke box came out less than satisfactory, but whatever, I don't really care. Again, with weathering, it'll be fine. Weathering fixes everything. And, the only other thing I did was I did dull down the cab light a bit too. I just painted over most of it. It was like way too bright. I don't like these bright cab lights Lionel puts in, so I painted most of it, so just the bottom half of it is actually emitting light. And it's still kind of bright. I might even tone it down more, because I don't like these bright cab lights. But either way, it looks way better than it did before. But, yeah. So, next up will be some... Oh, gotta set the airbrush off. Next up will be, I gotta do some cab curtains on the back. I'm on the fence about painting the interior of the cab green, like the roof and the walls. I don't know. We'll see if I feel like taking the cab off. Oh, I also added a whistle pull cord up here. Oh yeah, I forgot. I added the whistle pull cord. Something else. I don't know. A couple additional piping and things down the side. You can kind of see it there. I also did a headlight conduit coming off the headlight. I forgot about that. So, yeah, it's coming along nice. Weathering was next. Here it is, the first layer of weathering on it. I like to use J3a grimy black, or not grimy black, J3a NATO black. This is it here. Pretty beat up container of it. I like it. I like this color the best. I get it from my local hobby store, and I think it's a pretty solid color. I spray it through my airbrush. Here's what it looks like in the airbrush. I use about 25 psi, and just go over it, the whole thing. Did the boiler. Went a little heavier up here in the smoke box for soot and things, and got all the front pilot here in the front of the smoke box, as well as all the running gear. I went a little bit light on the running gear. I'm trying to not do the rods too heavy. I don't like these. I don't like this. This engine already came with like the pre-darkened rods, which Lionel does in some of their engines. I'm not a big fan of that. I wish they would just keep them polished, because then they would weather nicer and you could still have some of the shine underneath them, some of the dirt and grime. So these are already dark, so they're a little darker than I want, but whatever, it's not that bad. I also poorly masked off the headlight and the cab windows and the stuff on the back. I don't do masking very well, but I do enough to work. And occasionally here, if I for example, let's say I don't hit all the areas of the masking tape might cover up there, I'll just hit it with a puff of the color of the airbrush and it'll be fine. Same thing up here in the headlight. And then if I accidentally get through the reflector or something, I'll just repaint it with the brass color or something. I still have the number plates, or builder's plates, I mean. They're still masked up. I haven't taken them off yet when I painted the smoke box, so I'll go back and do that later. I also need to do the whole other side of the engine. The other side is still, you can kind of see, I haven't done the other side yet. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and do a little bit of airbrushing here when I go do the other side. We'll see how it looks, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't work, then I'm just not gonna do it, so you'll see when it's all done. After it's done here, I'm gonna go through and do some extra dry brushing. I also forgot to do boiler streaking, which is, I usually do that first. I'll just do it afterwards, and again, just follow up with a little bit of NATO black here. I forgot to do boiler streaking. I also might add, or I'm also going to do another color of grime down along the running gear, and I might try it up here in the boiler a little bit, just around the sand dome and things. I saw there's a guy in the OGR forum, which I'm not on the OGR forum, but I think it's lame. But regardless, there's I do poke around in there for once in a while, and Jack Wheelahan Hot Water in that forum, he has a nice pictures of a third rail Super Hudson he weathered up. I don't know if he weathered it, but someone weathered it, and he has little highlights all around the boiler, a lighter color. It's almost like my grime color that I have. It's a mix of a bunch of different colors. But I'm gonna try it. I don't know. I might try and see how it looks, or I'll at least hit it with powders, which I'll also hit some of the wheels and some of the stuff around the trailing truck and Firebox with powders. I always do that. But I just kind of want to highlight some stuff on the boiler. So it's not just black. But it's looking good. So let's see how it goes on the other side. See if I can do this well. Got my phone in my left hand, airbrush in my right hand. Let's see how this goes. This might be a disaster, so mind my bad camera work here. I'm going to try and do both at once. Oh, actually, wait. I forgot my light. This does help. I like having a little bit of extra light here. All right, let's see what happens. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Well, either way, that's first pass, whatever. Okay, well that was a complete miserable failure. So here's what it looks like now with the boiler sprayed. Gotta hit a couple areas up there, but the valve gear and all the running gear needs sprayed. You can see it's kind of an odd contrast now. It'll look a lot better after I hit the bottom here, but I tried to do the airbrushing video and you can see it clearly failed, so whatever. Here it is now with the running gear all sprayed up. You can see it makes a pretty drastic difference. It looks 100 times better. Airbrushing really isn't that hard. It took me it's a little bit of a learning curve. Prior to airbrushing, I like to use a lot of weathering powders. And I do like that strategy. I haven't used it in a while though, because this is just so much quicker and a lot cleaner. And you do get better coverage. I like the results are a little better here. Now, I don't just airbrush it one color and call it a day. Like I was just saying, I'm gonna follow up now with I'm deciding if I'm gonna do either the dry brushing first and then come back with the other airbrush colors, mainly around the running gear, and like I was talking about the boiler, or do the boiler streaking, probably the boiler streaking first. We'll see, I don't know, but either way, I think this is a pretty solid look here. I'm gonna come back now and do the tender. I also forgot to mention, I always hit before I weather, I hit it with this. This is Tester's Dull Coat. I hit it with a pretty liberal layer of that. So I do like it to be pretty flat. That kills a lot of the sheen. And then I hit it with the paint. I don't typically hit any flat clear afterwards. I think it can sometimes mute some of the added details I do. I might hit it after this first coat here, or first I'll do some of the paint first, and then I'll come back and dull coat it before I do the weathering powder. I don't normally do that though, so I probably won't. I also might touch up the bell too. It's a little shiny. I think I might hit it with a little bit of airbrush to tone it down, but looks pretty good. Really like the way a good weathered interior looks. I hate this text on the top of the roof though. Here's the tender with its first coat of NATO black. I think I have a box of Lionel coal, like more coal, that I bought it for something else. I don't know, I forget what I bought it for, but either way, I haven't used it, it's just sitting. So I think I might spruce up the coal load a little bit. I'm not gonna do too much. I wanna reserve a lot of it for the Mohawk tender over there. That has a plastic coal load, so my plans, there's the coal right there. Anyway, this has a plastic coal load, so I want to reserve most of it for that. I can always buy another one, but I don't know. I think I might spruce the coal load up a little bit. But either way, I think it looks good. Now I'm gonna come back with some other colors and spruce up this as well as the engine. And I did mask this off, but then I hit most of it, and then I pulled the masking tape off and just hit it real quick. So it has a little bit of a tinge over it, but I kind of like that because the lenses don't stay clean in real life anyway. But yeah, it looks good. Okay, so while everything sits here and dries, I took a little Q-tip here with some isopropyl alcohol. I just want to rub down the number plate and that little New York Central plate. I think that looks better. I'm also going to do on the sides of the headlight here as well. And a little bit here. And I can just do it over here real quick. I'm just going to, honestly, one pass is all you need to do. It looks good enough. So I think it looks good here. Like I was saying, I did tinge up the bell a little bit. In fact, I might need to go back and just hit that one little shiny spot. I also hit the pop valves and the whistle because they were way too shiny. And overall, it looks good. Let me hit that real quick. I got my airbrush here. And that's the issue you run into that wants to blow around. This will be a little bit of a challenge here. I don't think I did anything. I think all I did was make it dirtier. Yeah. That looks even worse. Let's see if I can wipe some of that off. Yeah, whatever. It's fine. It's good enough. I don't care. It looks good enough. Now I'm going to go through and probably do boiler streaking here. I'm going to let it dry for like a couple minutes, and I'll come back and do boiler streaks. I don't want to mess with any of the paint. This side's probably best, because I did this side first. I could probably start with this side, and then while I do this, the other side will dry, and I'll do the other side with some boiler streaking. I'm just going to do some coming down the sides, and then while I still have the NATO black loaded in the airbrush, I'll just come back and just hit it with a quick streak to blend them in. This here is a technique that I cannot and will not take credit for. This comes from Norm Charbonneau. Honestly, a lot of my weathering comes from Norm Charbonneau, by the way. Regardless, these are AK weathering pencils. I like to use 3 colors: dirty white, neutral gray, and black. Dirty white and neutral gray I'll use running down the majority of the boiler jacketing here. And then I'll hit a little bit of black, see what I can do around the smoke box coming down from the stack. You can hear the real train coming up. Hear a couple former Conrail SD60Ms. If you can hear it, you can blow the horn again. Or not. Shut this off here. This old ass transformer buzzes. And I also use a straight edge. Right? So this is the straight edge that I use. I'll just run a couple down both sides. Should look good. Here's a look at the boiler streaks. Again, I use a combination of the neutral gray and dirty white. You can see a slight variation here. I don't know if you can or not. This is white, or dirty white, whatever, and neutral gray is down below it. It's very, very slight. I also did a little bit of black in the smoke box. I don't love how this looks, but I'm just gonna go over it with some grimy black. There's the train again. I think what I'm gonna do here, I have some really old beat up brushes. This is my just beat the hell brushes bin. Let's see what I can use here. I don't know, I'm gonna try this maybe. Oops. Try that. Let's see if I can just kind of burnish them in just a little bit. See, I want to be careful though, because I don't want to go too hard and then like scratch the paint almost. Let's see. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm just gonna try this. I'm just gonna do a little streak of NATO black and see how that looks. All right, here it is all completed. For the boiler streaks, what I ended up doing was I took that brush, which was, oops, hold on. I took this brush, which is this here. I wet it with a little bit of tap water, and then I actually just kind of strung it across. Just went across a little bit, did a little bit up and down, mainly side to side, followed by finish up with up and down. Then I hit it with a light pass of the NATO black, and I think it actually blends in well. It kind of lightens up. You can see where I did it kind of lightens up pretty well, and I kind of like that. I think it looks good. I also followed up with my custom grime color, which is a mix of like gray, brown, tan, a little bit of everything, and I hit that real light on the lead trucks, very lightly dusted it on the running the drive wheels, a little bit of the trailing truck on the Firebox. And I also tried something new. I hit it in a couple different areas. I did a couple of streaks of it, some here, right by the sand dome, and then down here. I think I was talking about that Super Hudson that Jack Wheelahan has. I kind of based it off of that. And I finished it off with a little bit of dry brushing. So I got dry brushed some of these piping here, a little around here, a couple stuff up here, just to highlight and pop a couple areas. And the other side looks the same. I don't feel like turning it around, but that's the engine. So I have it running up here on my rollers, not really rollers, just attached to the power, just running in place. Just to give it one final break-in test here before it goes on the layout. I think it looks really good. And over in the tender here, here's a tender all weathered up. I hit that same grime color on the trucks and the underside, the water scoop and stuff down there. I also added some coal like I talked about. That's just stacked on there with some white glue. And you can see it's still drying. It'll dry clear so you won't notice. And yeah, I think this thing came out good. I think for the last part here, or for the last little thing here, I'll put some running sessions and I'll put a separate running video. But I do want to do a video or a picture comparison of the end result compared to the beginning result. I think it looks really good. This headlight makes a world of difference. That's like the biggest thing I could have done. Headlight, remove all the class lights, all I did really, and then weathered. And it came out great. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.